Namaste. My name is Shailaja and I welcome you all to the Kundalini Guide YouTube channel. Today I will be talking about the changes that follow a spiritual awakening. An authentic spiritual awakening causes to change the person at various levels, and it integrates this new behavior into his daily life. So I will be talking about those changes that will happen in a person after a spiritual awakening. We all are familiar with this game, and I would like to use this game as a backdrop to what I'm saying right now. Let's take the example of the avatar which is actually playing the game. The avatar in the game thinks that the world that he is seeing is real because he can touch, feel, and he has an energy exchange happening between him and the world around him, this virtual world. So he thinks that his existence is real. He thinks his enemies are real. He thinks his ideas, his thoughts, his emotions are valid. His anger is valid. His revenge is valid. He wants to kill. He wants to play the game of life and death. And he thinks if somebody will shoot him, he will die. And he thinks when he is shooting somebody else that they are dying. And he has to do all this as part of his duty. But then one day, this avatar starts questioning his own existence. He starts questioning the validity of his external world. He starts questioning his own intentions, motives, thoughts, ideas, belief systems. And then he starts sensing that there is something more than what he can see, think, touch, hear, or feel. This search for truth brings him face to face with the little child who's playing this video game. At that moment, the avatar realizes that he's trapped in a virtual reality. He understands that there is something more than the reality that he sees. And he knows that the child is actually controlling the game. And he understands that the actions of the child are binding the players in the game. The game of life and death is happening because between the kids who are playing the game rather than the people who are in the game. This new information now changes the thought process of the avatar. It changes his attitude towards his existence. He now understands that there is no need to carry any anger, remorse, or the need to take revenge because his actions do not bind him, and neither do the enemy's actions bind them. So his entire outlook towards the reality changes. He now becomes dispassionate. He still plays the game of life and death because he is programmed. He understands that there's a program that is running the virtual reality, and everything that functions there functions as per the programming of that reality. He understands that his death is not end of his life. He knows he will be born again. He understands that his enemies will also be born again, but they do not remember that because they once they die, they somehow seem to lose the memory of the past life. So all these things bring about a sea of change in this person. He still plays the game of life and death, but dispassionately. He still takes the gun, he still shoots his enemies, but he has no anger for his enemies and he has no fear of dying. So, this is a total game changer. These are the seven chakras that are present in the human body, the subtle body, not the physical body. I'll speak more elaborately about these chakras in my later videos. Here, I would like to talk about the lower three chakras. The lowest of all is the red color Muladhara. Next comes the orange Swadhisthana and then the yellow Manipura chakra. An average person spends most of his life in these lower three chakras. Because he is mostly active in this lower three chakras. He is trapped within his own behavioral loops. He feels trapped in life. He does not know how to get out of situations. He has a very limited way of thinking, and he is not very keen into, or he is not much involved into spirituality because he is more externally focused. So these chakras keep a person similar to the game which we saw earlier, where the avatar was so busy in the virtual world, trapped in his own thoughts and emotions and the fights, external fights he was playing. In the same way, an average person is trapped because they are operating mostly in this lower three chakras. So when a person is evolving spiritually, he moves into the higher chakras. The green chakra, which is the heart chakra, the anahata. The blue is the Vishuddhi chakra, which is present in the throat area. And then comes the indigo colored Agya chakra and the purple color Sahasrara chakra. So the person transcends the normal thought patterns, the normal behavioral patterns, and he moves up the spiritual path. So while he is moving up the spiritual path, he has to integrate these changes into his daily life. If he is not integrating these changes into a daily life, the changes will only happen at a mental level. Because we live on earth, which is a very dense physical plane of existence, and there is that we can call the external existence as Maya, or in English it is called as matrix. The matrix or the Maya are programmed with to make a person forget his reality, his true nature. So once somebody comes into the Maya, or when they come into the matrix, they get programmed as per the Maya or the matrix. So when somebody comes into the Maya, the matrix, they forget the true nature and they work as per the programs of this matrix or Maya. So the first quality of this Maya is it causes forgetfulness in a person. He forgets from where he has come. He forgets his authentic nature. So once a person starts evolving spiritually, he is just returning to his roots. He is returning to his true self. While these changes are happening in the person, these changes should be integrated into his daily life. Otherwise, what he is learning on the spiritual path will only remain as mere knowledge and it will not transform into practice. It will take some time for the knowledge to get integrated into a person's life. And this happens in an authentic spiritual awakening. Otherwise, the person will only be talking big things, but he will not be practicing them. So, what are the changes that happen after a spiritual awakening? Firstly, the belief systems change. A normal person carries certain belief systems based on which country he is born, which culture he is born into, the family traditions, the religion he is born into, the race he is born into. And it's not just what happens in this life, but we even carry samskaras from a past life too. So a person is, very complicated. Is a complicated bundle of many different belief systems, thought systems, behavioral systems. So these systems, which are the ideas or the thoughts or the beliefs that a person holds, they become blocks in our astral body. So first, these blocks are removed by the Kundalini when it awakens. This is like wiping the slate. See, there's a lot of things are written on a slate. If you want to write something else on the slate, it is already cluttered. Even if you write something on it, it is not prominent, it just becomes a part of the clutter. So first thing, the slate has to be wiped clean. So Kundalini first clears away all these blocks which are there in the astral body in the form of thoughts and beliefs. By the end of the process, the person is totally reborn. He is reborn in the way he thinks, the belief system he holds, because now the belief systems get transformed into value systems. For example, if he is born in an aristocratic family or royal family, he might think that he is superior to the others who are around him. This is a belief system he will hold very strongly in his body because even others around him think that he is superior to them. But once this person undergoes a Kundalini awakening, he realizes that all people are equal. It is only our thoughts, our limited thoughts and belief systems that make us think that one is superior to another. The person thinks that the divine which he sees within himself, he can see the same divinity in others outside of him. So he no longer thinks he's superior to others or inferior to others. In fact, he sees everybody as equal. So all belief systems with regard to the caste, the religion, the sect he is born into, the culture he is born into, the programming he has received since his childhood is totally wiped out and it is replaced with a value system. Now he prefers to live from a value system than a belief system. And typical value systems can be like non-violence, purity, integrity, equality, respect, gaining more knowledge. So there are many different value systems. So he prefers to replace his belief systems with value systems. Next, his memories. Generally, a normal person is always living with one hand dipped into his past memories and then he creates his future based on the past memories, or he decides how his future interactions with others will be based on his past memories. So the past memories never leave a person. The more painful these memories are, the more traumatic they are, the longer the effect they have on the person. So this decides the general mood of the person, how he thinks, how he feels. And even sometimes these memories can even bind a person to a particular behavioral way or a behavioral pattern. So once Kundalini awakening happens, once the thoughts and emotions are wiped out, the memories are also wiped out. So in general, because the memories are no longer ruling the person's mind, he is no longer stuck in the past because all his past traumas, pains, everything is cleared out by this divine energy. And any desires which are there in the past, which project themselves into the future, even those are removed away by the Kundalini process. Because of that, the person is no longer tied to his past and he has no fear of the future. He does not worry about the future because most of these negative emotions are transcended. So he seriously does not care what happens in the external world. So because of that, he transcends his memories. He is a person who is living in the present moment. He enjoys the life as it comes. He has no motives and he has no big objectives. He has good positive objectives. He does his work, but he even knows how to surrender to life. After an awakening, generally people are more focused on what they eat because now they cannot tolerate all kinds of foods. So many of them turn vegan and they give up a lot of habits which were earlier a part of their life. And they even sort of understand that the subtle energies that the food carry, even that affects their system. So they're very careful about the source of the food, from where it has come. During this process, the lower egoic nature is transformed. The lower egoic nature, you can classify this as the negative emotions we hold, like anger, jealousy, lust. Then we have, unnecessary desires, and then stinginess, uh, small mindedness, cruelty. So these are all typically examples of the lower ego mind. It is always in competition with the other person. It always wants to win. It is the lower mind. It only understands the external world as, win or lose situation. So because of that, a person gets is always triggered. He's constantly triggered, and because he's constantly triggered, he is constantly trapped in the lower ego mind. So the most difficult part of the process is to come out of this lower emotional body. So this transformation happens in the Kundalini process. The person is better equipped to handle his emotions. He feels little to no negative emotions. Even if he experiences a negative emotion, say for a moment he experiences anger, he will take charge of his mind immediately. He senses that he is getting angry. He is aware of it now, and he tries to question his anger. He tries to see what delimiting belief within his own system generated that anger, and he tries to go to the root of his anger and change himself from within, so that next time when he is in the same situation, he will not experience that anger. A normal person, when he gets angry, he can get abusive, he will want to take revenge, he will want to go out and assault the person, or he will hold the grudge in his heart, or he will hold the pain in his heart all his life. But once a person has spiritually evolved, he does not have this behavioral pattern. He has ascended this behavioral pattern, and he no longer identifies a experience as painful or enjoyable, because now he is dispassionate, he is detached. So any experience, whether it is painful or enjoyable, they both are learning experiences for this person. So therefore, he this experience allows him to transcend a lot of unwanted emotions, and because of that he can focus on better things in life. For a normal person, money is everything, because without money nobody can survive nowadays. But for a person who is spiritually awakened, money is energy. The real reason why a normal person, an average person cannot access money so easily is because their karmic residue, which is there in their nadi system, is what blocks a person from abundance. Abundance is the true nature of every person. The only thing that blocks a person from abundance is his karmic baggage. Once the karmic baggage is cleared out, abundance flows in very easily. So this person's attitude towards money is totally changed now. He sees money as energy. He knows he can tap into that abundance whenever he wants. So he becomes generous. Money matters don't really matter to him much now. He works not for money but out of passion for work. Every act he does in the moment is only to create more positivity around him rather than to generate more money into his account. So this person's life, he does his work, he follows his passions, and money follows him. He is no longer in servitude of wealth or money or name or fame. He does not seek them, they seek him. Religion, too, which was earlier a very prominent part of his life, he understands whatever religion he belongs to, he understands that religion is like a boat. It takes you across the river. But once you cross the river, the boat is of no use to you. You have to leave it there, because religion will ultimately lead a person to spirituality. Once you're on the spiritual path, You are no longer bound by religious ideas. Because religion is identity. When you belong to a particular religion, you may not like a person of another religion. But now this person loves everybody. He sees everybody as a part of himself. So he does not discriminate on the basis of religion or race or culture or color or gender also, because he sees all beings as equals. This person has no interest in developing a personal image because he understands that the external world is Maya, it is matrix. He prefers to be more introverted because whatever lifetime he is there that is left within, he prefers to be a learner. He wants to identify if there are any more dark corners within his own system so that he can pull them out and throw them out of his system. So his entire life after that will be more on becoming a better person each day. Power too, because this person sees everybody as equals and he has no motives, he does not maintain two faces because he is now living an authentic life. What face he presents to the people in his house, he will present the same face to the external world. He has nothing to hide. So he does not believe in power plays and he does not participate in power plays. So when he is a boss, he is a very good boss. He will allow you to grow, learn, and evolve. And if he is an employee, he will do his duty duly, not out of fear of the boss, but because he has to do a perfect job. And he is not interested in external politics. He does not identify with belonging to a particular group or a particular. He is not bothered about a political leader because he does not believe in giving his power away to others. A general person, you will find them be following certain celebrities or following certain trends, certain fashions, certain politicians, because they feel good following them. Once a person spiritually awakens, all these things have no effect on him because he sees all these things as an illusion. He is not interested in all these things. He does not give away his personal power to somebody else. The only thing that he will appreciate or really like to follow is when he sees integrity in the other person. When he sees a spiritual being standing in front of him, he will really want to surrender, pay his salutations to that person, pay his respects to that person. Desires too are conquered, the general lower egoic desires, the desire to take revenge, the desire to hurt somebody, the desire to generate or buy a house, a better car than others around you, the desire to trouble somebody, or the desire to surrender or give up your power to somebody. All these lower level egoic desires are surrendered. What remains are the higher spiritual desires, desire for liberation, desire for a better earth, desire for a better future for all living beings. So most of the lower level desires are transcended. Addictions too have no power on this person right now. He may still want to have a cup of tea or a coffee, but he is not addicted to them. Relationships drastically change for this person because now he is not ready to put up with toxic relationships. He does not give away his power in the relationship. And because the karmic issues with regard to relationships are resolved, he no longer has karmic partners in his life. So he treats everybody as his own. For example, this person may have his own kids, but when his kids are there along with other kids, he will treat even the other kids as his own kids. because now he does not behave from attachments. He sees and experiences and feels only love, universal love for everybody around him. So this person becomes a source of universal love for everybody around him. So if there's any person who is very cruel or whose general nature is that of hatred, they cannot stay in the life of an evolved being because they are vibrating at a different frequency. Now, because this person is vibrating at a higher frequency, he will only have people who can accept and live in that high frequency. So, typically, people who are narcissists or sociopaths or psychopaths, they generally fall away from his life. All toxic relationships, toxic people, toxic situations fall away from his life because there is nothing more for him to learn from those situations. And next, this person is very now he is more interested in spending his time in nature. He loves children, animals, plants, birds. He prefers to sit under the tree under the open sky rather than closed in a room. He enjoys nature, he enjoys solitude, he likes to be alone, but he does not feel lonely. He enjoys the pleasure that comes from spending time alone. And he's being emotionally matured, he does not need a partner to bring happiness into his life. He becomes a source of happiness for everybody around him. No matter who is sitting in front of him, it can be his servant, it can be a stranger, it can be his wife or husband or children or relatives or co-workers, everybody is treated with kindness and love because that is what this person is capable of giving now. His relationship with God too changes because his identity with religion is wiped out. He develops his own practices in devotion for God. And these practices, and because he has already experienced the divinity within himself, he is in a better position to communicate and understand the nature of God. So, after spiritual awakening, the person uses higher discretion, higher intelligences, and he only wants the truth. When any new thought comes into his mind, when any new person enters into his mind, any new experience comes into his system, into his environment, he always uses his discretion to separate the truth from the untruth. Therefore, he knows how to react in every situation. People cannot take him for a ride. He knows the truth from the false. He takes more responsibility for his actions because this man understands that the external world is a projection of his own ego mind. So he understands that all those things which he experiences in the external world, the seed for those experiences comes from inside of him. So instead of changing the situation outside, he changes himself from within. When he does this, the external situation changes. This understanding is very high in him. That is why you will not see him thinking of himself as a victim of a situation. He always thinks of himself as a creator, a co creator of the situation. And because he is operating from higher chakras, his intuition is high, his creative abilities are high, and he constantly finds divine help at every corner of his life. He is better equipped to solve problems in his life. He prefers introversion because he understands that the external world is an ever changing world. If you try to anchor yourself in the external world, you'll get lost in the chaos that is there outside. Instead, if you could find that stable ground within his own self, he is better equipped to deal with life. Because he has overcome the lower mind instincts. Most of these lower mind instincts come from the previous animal incarnations. We carry part of that material or that kind of residue that keeps us in the lower mind. So when a person is operating in the lower mind, he still carries some of the animal instincts. And for example, the territorial instincts, the fear of death, the competitive instinct, all these things which you see in the animal kingdom, they seep into the human world too. And when a person is operating in the lower chakras, he is under the influence of these instincts. So these instincts are overcome. Now, this person does not see anybody as an enemy or as a competitor. When the other person grows, he feels genuinely happy for them because he sees that as his own personal growth. So he understands that there's nothing beyond him in this world, and everything that is there in this world is a part of him. So he is always there to encourage, and he does not see the external world as a competition. And because he is in a learning mode, for example, if you're watching two chess players play a game of chess, and if you do not identify with either of the players, you just watch the game for the thrill that you get from watching it, and because you want to learn from the game, then you will really enjoy the game because you're there as a witness to the game. You're there as a witness to the game, you are learning the game, and you're enjoying the game. So, this is the state the person reaches with a spiritual awakening. He is no longer, his brain is no longer identifying with victory or defeat. Every experience becomes enjoyable. There's always something to learn from an experience. And above all, he learns to surrender to God, to the divine will, totally. And he only wants to be of service to God. So, the highest state that a person can reach functionally, where he can function as a normal person in this external world, is the state of witness, where he is witnessing life without getting attached to life, where he is living in the present moment, and he only exudes love and happiness and joy to everybody around him. And he only wants to be of service for the higher good. We wish that, we all should wish that there should be more people like this in the world will become a better place for all of us. Thank you.